Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. But we're going to talk about these Black immigrants that seem to believe they should be included in Black history. And I absolutely don't agree with that. I don't agree with that because the history was created by one of our forefathers, Carter B. Goodson. In fact, this Black History Month is exactly 100 years old. It was created in 1926, and this is 2026. So officially, Black History Month is 100 years old this year. And our forefather, he was a descendant of slaves. The creation was to commemorate our history, our inventors, are people that were champions and activists out here. It was not for people from the continent of Africa. I don't know anything about your historians over there, and I don't think I should know. I live over here. And number two, could I go to Africa and demand to be part of the history just because I decide to move there, I now can demand to be part of African history? Nobody does that. Nobody does that. Come on. The history is for the people that have been here for generations, and that is us. All right. I think that it's very inappropriate for y'all to take on this attitude that you should be included when you know you don't have the same history in the land that we do. You're an immigrant, which means you came at your own free will and you decided to come over here and live because you could not be successful in your homeland. You couldn't get anywhere in your homeland. That's why you left out of there and came here. We didn't have that choice. And what history would we be talking about from Africa? Seriously, what history would we be talking about? No, no, I'm sorry, immigrants. This is not for you. This is not for you. If you don't have family that goes back during the time of chattel slavery up until now, this ain't for you. And I don't know why you would be fighting for that anyway. Fight for what? It's not for us. Well, you're right. It's not for you. Everything is not for you. Some things are for us and no one else. Wow. I mean, seriously, it's almost like y'all look for reasons to be upset at us every day. I'm telling you, y'all, sometimes I believe they are just sitting around trying to think of anything to be mad at us and then jump on a video ranting about it. I really do. I think some of this mess y'all just sit around and make up just for clicks and views. I would never go to somebody else's country and get upset if I was not included in the history. I would never do that. Nobody with common sense would do that. But y'all, I'm serious. I'm convinced these people just sit around thinking of anything just to whine about against us. I really believe that's what's going on. Oh boy. Mm-mm-mm. Let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. Please give me a one if you can see my screen. No, you know what it is, y'all. From chattel slavery all the way up until now, out of the entire diaspora, we have the biggest achievements. We do. It doesn't matter if these people keep coming here talking about you have no culture, you have no this, you. We got more achievements than everyone else out here in the diaspora combined. They know it. No matter how much they keep saying you're a criminal and you have no culture and you have no, they know at the end of the day, nobody got more achievements out here than we do. And they want in on it. Okay, y'all. Thank you for the ones.
Happy Black American History Month. To all of my Black Americans, this month is our centennial, which means that we are celebrating 100 years since 1926. We have been celebrating Black American History Month. It started off as a week and it expanded into a month. And what I do want to say is, I am not, or I should say, I am an anti flat blackness type of person. I do not believe in lumping other histories to celebrate in our Black American culture. Like, this is our 1 month to discuss the achievements of Black Americans in this country. There are an actual other months that other people get to celebrate that we are not a part of. And I need that to change when it comes to looking at Black American history as everybody's history. And because I don't believe that that is correct. There is Caribbean History Month in June, there is the African Immigrant Heritage Month in September, there is Hispanic Heritage Month in between the months of September 15th and October 15th. Literally, Black Americans do not insert ourselves in those celebrations. And it's just becoming apparent that people do not respect Black American culture. They feel that our culture is so watered down. If you share the same skin tone with us, then whatever we celebrate, it basically includes everybody. And I know that people are going to say, well, you're being very divisive. And well, black Caribbeans have so much input, or have done so much for America. That's what you have Caribbean Heritage Month for. So my thing is, what is the gravitational pull towards Black American History Month? What's yours is mine, and what's mine will always be mine. So whatever you get, you need to include us. And if you don't include us, then you're xenophobic. And what we have should be respected because our culture is unique. And it's always this stateless Black American type of ideology that's being pushed on Black Americans. So I don't agree with. I do not agree with at all. So yes, happy Black American History Month to my Black American people.
The Black Americans are on TikTok stating that Black History Month is only.
I'm only saying this for clarification. Black History Month is for Black people in America, meaning it's usually not celebrated in other countries for this month. In the UK, when I was reading, I found out that they celebrate Black History Month in October, meaning that people celebrate their own things. It's for Black people in America. I'm not saying only Black Americans because we know there are other leaders who have backgrounds that come from the Caribbeans, but it's for Black people in America. So, probably the people who probably came from the Caribbean that live here now. It's for Black people in America. It's for the Black people who live in America who helped build this country. That is anybody that comes from, but it's usually not celebrated in other places. They celebrate their own things. And that's where the difference comes in. It's not that all Black people in America can't celebrate it, it's that it's an American holiday, it's an American month. Other people have other things.
The Black Americans are on TikTok stating that Black History Month is only meant to celebrate Black American history. And I 110% disagree.
We really don't give a fuck. It's not.
So ethnic Black Americans emphasize Black History Month being specifically for those of us who were either born in America, but specifically those of us who are shaped or come from a lineage of people who were shaped by American culture, socially, politically, and culturally, just through systemic oppression and racial segregation.
Maya Angelou, Trinidadian. Malcolm X, Grenadian.
So while yes, prominent Black American figures do have Caribbean influences, but they're also ethnically Black American because their story, their strife is that of the ethnic Black American, considering the historical context of race in America. And also, they also have ethnic Black American heritage. They're not only Jamaican, they're not only Trinidadian. Because Black Americans coined, or in fact, because ethnic Black Americans were the first people in the diaspora to be considered Black, all the other people were, given their country's names or whatever name they may be that, connects them to their culture and their heritage and their people. The United States is the world superpower. Ethnic Black Americans were called Black people, Negroes, Black Americans in America because of the obvious. English, we're Black, or not Black, but they considered us Black, so that just stuck over centuries. We're really brown, various shades of brown. We all know that. And because Black stuck as a sort of like identity signal for anybody who had darker skin, that was just the word that became synonymous with those of us who were descendants of American chattel slavery. And because, yes, we do look very similar to our diaspora cousins, we were forced to share the title of Black with other Black people in the diaspora. But what do you want us to be called? United Statesians? Because here's the thing. Let's say if we take Jamaica, for instance, and let's say that Jamaica is what the United States is today in this fictitious hypothetical or whatnot. And, Black people from all over the diaspora, including ethnic Black Americans, are all migrating to Jamaica. And Jamaica has a Jamaican History or Jamaican Heritage Month, honoring those who are native Black Jamaicans. How would I look as an ethnic Black American, descendant of American chattel slavery in this country, saying, oh, yes, and, while I'm very accomplished and I've done all of these things on my own right in the country of Jamaica, wouldn't Jamaicans feel this type of way if I made myself a prominent Jamaican within the ranks of Jamaican culture and society under, all of whatever accomplishments I would have made in Jamaica? No, as an ethnic Black American, I wouldn't even feel comfortable wanting to represent myself as a Jamaican during Jamaican Heritage Month, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that's why I think it's the case. And so diaspora influences do not negate the case for us being ethnic Black American. They show that, yes, components of it were absorbed into ethnic Black American culture, but overwhelmingly the theme of this person's life was that of the ethnic Black American, or similar to that of those like myself, the children of the slaves, who were forced to create our culture and cultivate our lane amidst all of the adversity that this country presented.
Who Black History Month is actually for. Black History Month was created in the United States of America by a Black American for Black Americans. It was founded in 1926 by Carter G. Woodson. What he created was called Negro History Week, not African History Week, not Global Black History Week, not Diaspora Month. Woodson wasn't trying to celebrate Blackness in general, he was responding to something specific. The erasure of Black Americans from American history, not Caribbean history, not African history, American history. Black History Month is not about all Black people globally. It never was. That doesn't mean that other Black histories don't matter. It means that this one has a specific origin, purpose, and people attached to it. And when we flatten that, we lose the truth. So let me be clear. Black History Month is not exclusionary. It's precise. It exists to tell the story of people who were foundational to America, exploited by America, and denied fully belonging in America.
When you hear Black history, we're not talking about anyone from Africa. We're not talking about anyone from the Caribbean islands. We are talking about foundational Black Americans. That's our history you about to learn and be reminded of. This is the 100th year anniversary of Black History Month. And I hear a lot of divisive language on this app, and I've talked about a lot of different topics on my page. One thing I want to know, and I want to hear from you guys because you love to talk about it so much, is Who is Black History Month honoring? It's not honoring no one from the Caribbean islands or Africa or Great Britain. It's us.
See, one of the two things that I really dislike when they come up dealing with the beginning of the year is Martin Luther King Day, because people just start just saying any and doing wild shit when it comes down to Martin Luther King and Black History Month. Those are the 2 days that y'all just be doing the most, and it's always black people that does it. The only thing I really just agree with you on that the original focus was Black Americans and the Black American experiences in the U.S. That is part of the historical accuracy that you're naming. But saying Black History Month is not honoring anyone from Africa or the Caribbean is where like this become needless and restricted and very misleading information that you're putting out here. Because you're putting it like that Black American history like exists in like some kind of vacuum. Like you do know that enslaved Africans are literally the starting point of Black American history. Caribbean activists directly helped shape the African American movements that they was doing. Like you cannot tell the story of Black America without Africa or the diaspora just dealing with it. Like they are a part of American history. And where are you coming up with this foundational Black America? Like where are you getting this from? Because this man here never framed Black history as a only U.S. born descendants and nobody else. He never framed Black history like this. So where are you getting this from? The other thing is this: Black History Month honors people who shaped Black life, resistance, culture, and progress. Many of those people are immigrants and first generation Americans. If someone made a major impact on Black history in America, they belong in the conversation of dealing with Black History Month. But truthfully, in my opinion, the issue is this. It's not actually about history. It's really about identity politics and gatekeeping. And the thing is, y'all try to gatekeep the wrong fucking shit. Before I get done wrapping up dealing with him, because I'm going to go to his comment section, Black History Month is U.S. focused. Yes, that is true. But it is not only for a narrowly defined group. It is not that whatsoever. Erasing Africa and the Caribbean basically weakens Black American history instead of protecting it. Like y'all have to stop doing it. Because if you try to push this as to where like that you're trying to educate people and try to bring unity or whatever stuff, you're doing the whole and totally opposite than we're making this kind of video. Now on to your comment section. Now let's start with the first comment. The first comment is this is just a historically false framing at its finest. Black History Month was never defined like as some exclusionary thing. It was always about correcting erasure, teaching Black contribution in U.S. history, and uplifting Black people as a whole as an anti-Black society. Recognizing Black Americans does not require bashing the diaspora dealing with Black American history. I'm going to talk about the first comment dealing with this one. They don't claim us anyway. I do get and understand that there are tensions between Black Americans and some immigrant communities. There is also an anti-Black American rhetoric aboard within the diaspora. You don't defend Black American history by shrinking it. You defend it by telling it accurately and unapologetically.
It's been informed that because I am not a Black American, well, I am a Black American,
No,
but because
you're
I'm
not.
African, I was born on the continent of
You're
Africa, and I don't
Whatever
have
country.
any like parents and heritage that is born here on this continent. I'm not allowed to celebrate Black History Month. It has come to my attention that Black History Month is only for African Americans who are like generationally American, not those of us who came from the motherland to America. I don't know if you guys were aware, but if I told you Happy Black History Month this month, if I said anything about Black History Month to you today, I take it back.
Girl,
I
bye.
still take it back. I was not trying to offend the diaspora warriors. I would like to go back to my quiet corner of the internet thinking
Bye. First of all, one person, because I looked through her comment section, one person told her, you're not ethnically Black, so you don't celebrate Black History Month. One out of almost probably and over 50 million people. And now all of a sudden she's sitting up here making this video. Like, girl, shut up. Y'all want to be like the center of attention so bad. Nobody cares. If one person says something to me, if I was not getting constant comments
similar comments, if I was not seeing a multitude of videos, a bunch of videos, I wouldn't be saying half the stuff I say. If it was just one person, I would be like, No, as a collective, y'all be really popping it bad, telling us we don't have no history, saying we don't have no culture, saying everything that we've done is attributed to you because somewhere 1,000 years ago, we may have some African ancestry. And it gets to a point. Now, I don't know who, like, I don't know, besides that one person she said that to her, I don't really see us saying don't celebrate Black History Month. But what I do see is like Africans saying, well, we need to celebrate Africans during Black History Month. And that is what I see, you know, some Black Americans having some pushback. Like, no, we're not going to celebrate Africans in Black History Month because this is Black American History Month. We're in America. It's the same as y'all going to the HBCUs and doing African takeover days and Caribbean takeover days. It's like, why do y'all have to take over the things that we already have? Like, create your own. If you want to create an African History Month, go for it. Now, I don't need y'all saying, well, what country and this country, and I don't know what country she came from. Y'all get to generalize African and call yourselves African and say y'all from the continent when it's convenient. And when we do it, it's World War III. She called herself African. I cannot specifically name whatever country she comes from because she did not say it. But the fact that this is even a thing is crazy to me. Why do we have to share everything? You can celebrate it as long as you're celebrating Black American historical leaders, Black American icons, Black American legends, the accomplishments of Black Americans here in the United States of America. But if you want to come over here talking about y'all created R&B and y'all have soul food too, and jambalaya and jollof is the same thing, and how the banjo, the drums originated in Africa, so y'all created hip hop. Don't nobody want to hear that shit. It's when y'all get to doing stuff like that is when we be like, all right, enough is enough. Enough is enough. You want to get up here and start celebrating Nelson Mandela in February, we ain't got the time for that. But if you want to say Happy Black History Month, nobody's stopping you. Y'all just keep trying to colonize things, co-opt and steal things, and make things about you and center yourself. That is where the issue comes in, like the whole immigrants build the United States of America. Like, y'all be on that type of time. But stop this. Like, it's not that serious. Nobody's saying. But I mean, like, just Africans should not be celebrated during Black American History Month. That's it. And y'all get offended for whatever reason. I don't know why. But what y'all think about this? It's relevant to Brooklyn.
If they're offended by my opinion, then I quite frankly, again, don't care.
Here we go.
We're the minority of a country that you didn't even choose to come to, and have a made-up culture that was forced upon you.
A made-up culture.
Somebody else's land that does not belong to you, but you still have the audacity to say anything about any immigrant Africans that are coming to America, that live in America. My family came here by choice. There was nobody that forced them on a boat to come over.
I'm sure
you guys
that's
didn't have
not
a
true.
choice. You didn't. So why are you shitting on people that have something that you don't have?
What the
And
hell
really
y'all got that we don't have?
you guys, I really do, because it is really, really sad. But why do y'all force the oppression that was forced onto you? You guys force that same oppression on Africans.
We force oppression on Africans
to go back to. If I told you to go back to where you came from, where you gonna go? 23andme.com.
No, we're gonna be in America.
You still can't go back. Like, if I asked an African American where they were from and they told me Atlanta, okay, that's kind of founded by a white man.
And so is Africa, and so are y'all countries during the Berlin Conference.
And since y'all shit on Africans so bad, then go ahead and take that African out from in front of American and just be American.
We are.
Take 300 years of history over 2 billion years of history.
2 billion
and
years.
So be it. I have no problem with that. But don't choose to be African American when it's beneficial to you, because the switch up, I'm not fucking with it. Another thing is how y'all talk about, oh, how poor Africa is. Africa ain't got shit. Y'all poor in America too.
Why you here?
Systems directly, strictly for y'all. When people think of Section 8 poverty, the people they advertise are straight African Americans. Americans, my bad. Because there's no way you sit here and hate on a place that you came from. Where do you think the Africa and American comes from? Like, but if you think you just grew straight up out of Atlanta, so be it. Whoop-de-doo. Congratulations to you, because I quite frankly don't give a damn.
You could.
I just seen a post that said
Africans are mad because they can't celebrate Black History Month in America. Y'all not tired? Like, for real, y'all not tired? Starting a diaspora war every 5 fucking minutes, and there's literally presidents eating babies. Y'all not tired? The same people who started our slavery is continuing slavery, and the same heinous acts that they did to us is continuing to do it right now, today, in 2026. And y'all want to argue about who the fuck can celebrate a goddamn holiday that they gave us? They won't give you your 40 acres and a mule, but they damn sure gonna give you a fucking holiday, and y'all want to fight about it. Woman is you not, if you light skin, you can only celebrate half of the month. Now y'all are saying if you're African, not born in African America, you have to know that you can celebrate with us, but it is not you being celebrated. Do y'all not know your fucking history? Do you know that there are whole ass villages in Africa that Africans are not welcome to today? 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 The phone you using to spew the bullshit about your mouth is still being harvested by our people today. 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 Y'all pissing me off. Y'all pissing me off because y'all sound so goddamn stupid, and I know y'all not. But God, wisdom is chasing y'all, and y'all are fast as hell.
It's Black History Month, and the Black non-Americans are tripping again, and I'm deciding to opt out. I said this last year on my backup page. I'm blocking all of you. I'm not participating this time. Y'all are not worth it. Y'all are making up stuff. Where I grew up it's in Michigan. The Nigerians and the Jamaicans did not play when you called them Black. They had a whole thing where we needed to differentiate. Call them Nigerian American, call them Jamaican American, do not call them Black. Now we got this newer generation who are more so like, no, they're celebrating and standing in their Blackness, and now they're upset with us because we thought that we were standing and respecting y'all decision. And now it's all of a sudden, no, now y'all saying we're not Black. And y'all very well know Black History Month has always been about Black Americans. So I'm not participating. I'm just blocking you. And I hope y'all do the same.
This is my last time making a response to anyone's comments in reference to my video where I discuss Black History Month being celebrated beyond African Americans. Girl, you know what it is? You know what it is? I'm arguing with people who didn't go to college. I'm arguing with people who have no sense of skills when it comes to literature, when it comes to reading news, and having an understanding of countries beyond their borders. Do you know in Canada, we literally celebrate Black History Month? And in America, it started off as a week and then expanded to a month. In Canada, we started off full blown with the month. Like I said in the previous video, the guy who created Black History Week will be turning in his grave. See you guys argue over this. Why would you think Black History Month would just be celebrating African Americans if it's also a holiday in other countries? What type of movements you could be a part of, what type of power you hold. Do you not understand the power that comes from unity?
You know, this is the problem with them when they come over here. Black History Month is not celebrated in other lands. That is false. There are other countries that got their version of, like the UK, they celebrate theirs in October. But this is not a global thing. And see, this is what happens when you come to America and you don't bother to learn nothing. Then you sit around running your mouth and you don't know what you're talking about. Black History Month has never been global. So I don't know what the hell she's talking about. Damn, when you come here, try to pick up a damn book.
Of African immigrants or Caribbean immigrants. What we did have were descendants of enslaved folks. I'm a policy person. So if we look at the policy on immigration and whether we were even allowing Africans into this country, you'll find that in the 1920s, Africans made up 2% of immigrants. There were quotas, right? Caps on how many people could come from a certain country. In the 1990s, we saw the lottery program, which I know a lot of people were able to come here using that program. About 38% of those visas from the lottery program were attributed to folks from African countries. And then you saw temporary protected status, which we see a lot of Haitian immigrants are able to use. Now, again, Negro History Week was celebrated in 1926. Black History Month was celebrated in 1970. It was recognized by the president in 1976. We are celebrating the 100th year of this recognition, and the word history itself implies that there is something for us to be looking at. How could we be celebrating this in 1926 if we weren't seeing African immigrants or Caribbean immigrants in the country? We were seeing descendants of enslaved folks. Erasure is sitting here arguing about the meaning of something and rewriting what it is when you can literally Google what it was. Like it wasn't created so long ago that we don't have a documented history of what the originator meant, right? And then the month February was picked out because of Frederick Douglass's an enslaved man who was able to escape slavery and Abraham Lincoln's birthdays. I'm sorry, y'all, that does not have anything to do with Caribbean folks or modern day African immigrants. My last point, let's just think about where Black History Month is celebrated. Canada, the United States, the United Kingdom, Ireland, right? Places where the population is not predominantly Black because there's usually some sort of oppressive culture, some system, right? And it's like we need to recognize Black contributions to this country. Every Black History Month has a theme, and this year's theme is celebrating the 100th year of commemoration. And I hope that even if you don't feel like you're personally being celebrated, that you are willing to celebrate others.
There's one thing and one thing only that African people care about, including me myself. I come to your country, I don't care where it is. I am here to make money. That's just the sad reality. But it is the reality. Me as myself, when I went to Nairobi, when I lived in Kenya, I went to take. When I went to South Africa, I went to take. When I went to Dubai, I went to take. I did not go to build the countries because in my country where I come from, I am poor and I left my country because there's nothing for me to do. I didn't see any ways of getting rich in my country. So I decided to come to other countries to do something for myself. So unfortunately, I can't tell my African American brothers and sisters that when African people come to America, expect them to build with you. No, we're here to take. We are here to take. The American government, like right now, it's welcoming immigrants like nobody's business. Every African person who is in a dire situation or who sees there's an opportunity for me to get a green card, they would do whatever it takes to come to America, knowing very well that the government right now is prioritizing foreigners instead of its own people, which is not my fault. My own business is to come there and grab whatever I can. And if your government is supporting me to take as much as I can, who am I to refuse? Who doesn't want to live in America? So don't be surprised when you see these African men or African women get with older men or older women just to get the green card. That is what we do because we are in a dire situation in our countries. So we are running away to come to your country so we can have a better life because, I mean, who does not know about the American dream? And then if we come and then Joe Biden pampers us, and forgets that he has Democrats to take care of, it's none of our business. That's the reality. That's the reality. When we come there, don't expect us to build America for who? You have a lot we are here to take. That's the truth. And I know I might sound arrogant, but I'm not a person who sugarcoats the truth. So when we come to your countries, just know we are not here to have mercy on you. We are here to take.
This question is strictly for Africans, whether you live in diaspora or you live in Africa. My question is, should we celebrate Black History Month? If so, why should we celebrate it? For Africans only. I'm not talking about African Americans. I'm talking about Africans. Should we celebrate Black History Month? And the reason why I'm asking this question is because I've never had to celebrate Black History Month. Where I come from, I was born and raised in Uganda, in Africa. And we did not have a special month to celebrate being Black. Then when I moved to America, it was just a regular thing. Yeah, February, Black History Month, da, 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 da. It never made sense to me as an African. Okay, I'm not saying it's wrong. I need clarity. Just because I do not celebrate Black History Month, it doesn't mean that I'm against it. That's number one. And just because where I come from, we do not celebrate it, it doesn't mean the Black people living in America should not celebrate it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just asking a question. Peace and love.
Well, I mean, what reason would you need to celebrate it over in Africa? Everybody's black or everybody's Ugandan or whatever. But over here, we have a history. We have a very unique history. And the way I see it, y'all, if you include all of these other groups, it kind of cheapens it. That's what I feel. It cheapens the entire thing. You know, we tell our story in our own unique ways. Some of us tell our stories through the Bible, some use historian information. Some of us, we just read a variety of books to learn our history. We get it in many different ways. So, no, I don't believe immigrants should come in a country that you're not from and demand to be in on the history. I just think that's very inappropriate. That's how I feel. Y'all come from a whole different country with a whole different history from the one that we have. I heard the one, oh, well, your history just a few hundred years old. Ours is 2 billion years old. Your history over in Africa ain't no damn 2 billion years old. Y'all don't even have a history that's longer than ours. So I don't even know what y'all talking about. So anyway, this is the thing that's going on over on TikTok. These Africans, and it's probably more so Africans than Caribbeans, but they're all over there wondering why they can't be included in Black History Month. And I was like, that's why I said it's almost like every day they need to come up with something to be indifferent about. Seriously. That's what it feels like after, just dealing with this for so long. It's almost like y'all wake up just looking for something to bitch about. So, anyway, y'all, this is something else. In one instance, y'all come over here and you make sure you keep yourself separated from us. But now that ICE is on that ass, now all of a sudden you need to be included in everything. You want to get along when you never wanted to get along before. You want to know about all the divisions. Why are all these? We didn't cause the division. Y'all actually caused the division coming over here and going in your little separate groups. Y'all actually caused the divisions. And now that we have said, okay, fine, we'll stay over here and you stay over there. Now all of a sudden you want all of these divisions to go away. Unbelievable. So y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. I may have another live coming up, but it's going to be a little later. This time of the day, I try to work on orders and I have several that I need to work on. So I'm going to get to that. And remember, starting on Friday through Tuesday of next week, you'll be able to get my products on Etsy, Shopify, and TikTok 37% off. So y'all have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, and I will see you later. Shalom, family.